What's up? What's up? It's your girl, Bebe Flight. We got another episode. All right, this guy, he's from Harlem, and he has the Billboard plaques, but he's also the guy behind the New York sound, I like to say. Cartune Beatz in the building.
Thank you for the warm introduction.
I want to know what brings you here, even though I invited you, but I still want to know like what brings you here because you just did a project.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to say it. That's why I'm treading light. You just released a project with
what, Lloyd Banks?
Yeah.
It's been a lot going on the last couple of months, but yeah, Halloween Havoc just came out. I had 3 records on there. The previous Halloween Havoc last year I had like 5.
Mm-hmm.
One before that I had 3, but this year's usually it's received well, and actually this one is being received probably as the best one so far. So that's super dope to be able to contribute to that.
Speaking of received well, I, did my little research. I looked up on Elon's app to see what people are saying about the project. And they said, New York hip hop is alive again.
Absolutely.
How do you feel when you know that you produce something that people are saying like it's rejuvenating hip hop again?
I feel good because I think, hip hop over like the last few years has been in a lot of transitional stages. And me personally, I like to see it getting back to, I don't want to say original hip hop, but, how it started with, primary focus is being like lyricists and things like that. Because I feel like everything else is kind of going to trend. It's going to be popular for a while, then it's going to go away. But the one thing I think that's going to hopefully stay consistent is, just traditional hip hop.
Perfect. So your name was inspired by animation.
Right. Cartune Beatz. So since I was younger, I always watched cartoons. Even as an adult, I still watch them and I always loved it. So when thinking of a producer name, I was just trying to think of a name that kind of says something about me, like personally, but is also still tied into music. So I just took the word cartoon and spelled it like T-U-N-E to make it more like music related. And, it seemed to stick.
It did, because it's very clever.
Right.
I want to backtrack and talk about how I discovered you, because I was writing for another platform, and I write podcasts and I write people's scripts. And Nems or Neems, I always mess that man's name up. Nems,
yeah.
You did a lot of work on that project last year. I had wrote it, and I was like, okay, when I went and did my research, because I'm the FBI, your name was plastered all of a sudden, just back to back to back. And when I started doing research, asking who you was, everybody's like, you know him. And I was like, I know him. I was like, refresh me. Yeah. And then I remember that I met you at SOBs.
Right, yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. Like, when it comes to that circuit, because I think, I forgot whose show I was at, either Graph or like, I just know it was like hip-hop show.
I've been to a lot of the SOB shows. Yeah.
So I was just like, okay. I just kept hearing your name back to back. And everybody just kept saying, you know him. And I was like, I do? I don't know. So how do you feel when people hear your production on all these projects, but it's like you the man behind all of this, like your discography?
Yeah, it's growing. I lose track and I forget, but how I work is I try not to I don't celebrate too long. I have like milestones and things that I want to reach, and as great as I'm doing now, for me these are like the first steps up a very long ladder for me of what I want to accomplish. So it's absolutely a blessing though. I don't take anything for granted, because I know how difficult the music industry is, and it's hard to be consistent and have people continue to use your production and things like that, and even work with different kinds of artists. So I definitely appreciate having my name out there, and I just want to keep doing what I can to build it up.
Your first placement was with Tricky Graham. And from that moment to today, is there anything you would want to tell that producer from that placement to today?
That's a great question. And I would just say you've come a very long way. Very, very long way. Because, when I first started music production, I knew I wanted to take it serious, but, it's kind of like just waking up one day and saying you want to direct like movies. You're not 100% sure of everything that entails, but you just know it's a dream and you want to do it. So that's how I started with music. And, if I look back to when I was just starting, I first came up with my name, made my Twitter, started reaching out to people, looking to now, it's kind of crazy. It's almost like out of body to like look and say like, look at where I am now and, what I'm doing, because it wasn't always just like a smooth plateau up into where I am now. It was flat for a little bit, up and down. There were changes with hip hop, and I kind of had to keep finding my identity as a producer, or just kind of figuring out what kind of records I wanted to produce. So yeah, I mean that's I guess I would tell myself, yeah, you've come a pretty long way.
Pretty far away. And one thing I'm curious about with you is, how do you send out beats? If you send out beats, because I know a few producers, they, when people be like, send me beats, that thing, they're like, I don't like doing that, because sometimes they'll take the beat and not say anything.
Right, that happens.
So what's your process?
So my process is, I reach out to some artists. Sometimes they reach out to me, but I do send them through email. I've worked in the studio a few times, but actually for all the placements that I do have, a lot of them has been just sending beats. You get a contact, you get a phone number, then you text them beats and things like that. So that's been my process so far. But I have done some in-studio work with artists like Nimlo, because we put out an EP. So I worked with him in person. So in the future, I'm sure I'm going to be doing a lot more of that. But I've just been just sending out beats, and it has its ups and downs. Like you said, sometimes people do they might use your beat, not tell you. You wake up and then you hear the song.
I want to know how that works. Like, is that even legal? Like, if you ever heard your beat with somebody else, like, what is the process you go to delegate to get your shit right? Because that is.
It happens all the time, and that's just it's just sometimes there's a level of unprofessionalism on, like, it can be on the artist side, it can happen on the producer side, but you have to reach out to them and be like, hey, I hear you put the record out, like the business was done, you got to get contracts done, you have to make sure everything is legit. But unfortunately in this day and age, everybody is moving 100 miles per hour, and everybody loves the music and wants to make the music, but not everybody knows and fully understands like the business aspect of it. So that can get difficult, and that's not even just on like the smaller level. That's up to the highest level that happens with like A-list artists, where there's not always clear communication about putting like the song out and stuff. But as you get through the industry, you start to you educate yourself on what your rights are as a producer. You make sure you have like a lawyer and somebody that needs to step in if they need to. And then it's your creative work. So you just have to be willing to speak up for yourself.
Advocate for yourself.
Right.
That's crazy. I'm curious because, like I said earlier, when I looked up the project for Lloyd Banks, they said hip hop is alive. How does a producer keep the essence of hip hop but still move with the times of today? That's
a very good question, because it's actually something that I'm doing. And just as of right now, like the people that do, I guess, the traditional boom bap hip hop are super higher tier, like people like Lloyd Banks. So as far as like my fan base, like that work always jumps to the front. But I have R&B records out.
Really?
I have like trap records out. I have like my production has always been very diverse, but where I've been getting the most traction has been with the traditional hip hop sound. But one of my goals for this year was to expand more and try to look more into like the mainstream and current sounds. And luckily, as a producer, I've trained myself to be able to make all of those things. So it's definitely a strength to have that.
I like the way you talk. And I like your emails, because he puts his discography in the email, like work with this person. I like that. I feel like you still kind of like shy with like saying what you've done. So this segment is called Bragging Rights. I got a minute on the clock, and I want you to basically talk your shit.
Brag.
Don't hold back, because it don't matter what anybody else says. It matters what you say. So I'm going to start it off and say, who the fuck is Cartune Beatz?
I'm a producer. I usually would say like up and coming, but I think I'm kind of here now at this point. I've charted on the Billboard 2 times with Lloyd Banks with like very heavy contributions, not like 1 or 2 records, Both of the the first plaque I got was for Course of the Inevitable 1, which was obviously his big return to hip hop after his hiatus. I had 3 records on there. Mm-hmm. And then my second plaque was Course of the Inevitable 2, where I produced half of that whole album. I've been able to meet and work with legends like, Method Man, have him tell me that, like, he loves my consistency. Mm-hmm. Other artists like RJ Payne, who's on like a very exponential rise right now. Working with him is super dope. Through working with him, I have records with like Bun B and Ice-T. And these are like legends and hip hop pioneers. But I think that I've remained consistent, and that is, that's, again, I'm at the very bottom of the ladder that I plan on climbing. So
the track by RJ Payne that I like, we're done with the bragging, but Sinners.
Oh yes.
Oh, you walk.
Yes.
Oh, you did your big one.
Thank you.
You're still so like modest about it, but it's like, yo,
I try.
You've done.
I know.
Some dope work.
I have. My modesty really just comes from, it's not to slight myself in the work that I've already done. It's more to highlight that, for me, literally, it's just the beginning. And
yes,
I at a certain point, I expected this. I'm happy when I reach these accomplishments and things like that, but it's what I expect of myself. So, I'm not like, I can't believe I finally made it. It's like I put in the work, and I've worked to get to this point where I accomplished this. So this is expected. It's like exercise, going to the gym. After a while, you work out for long enough and you're consistent, you expect to see, results. You're still happy when you get the results, but, I try not to take, things too high when they're good and not too low when they're slow.
I hear you. So plaques run in your family, clearly.
Yes.
You have a twin brother that you guys are also. How does that work? Like, how's y'all dynamic? And I love it that y'all are clearly winning together.
Right.
So like,
that dynamic is actually very interesting because we are ultra competitive as brothers, but also as identical twins. And when we started our music careers, we kind of, we didn't want it to be it's like the twins, and that's like our gimmick. We wanted us to individually be the talented people that we were. So we didn't start as like a production duo and use like, being a twin as like a gimmick. Mm-hmm. My brother, he came up with his name a little bit after I did 800 Hertz. And we took our separate but linear journeys. Like I always know what's going on with him in music, and he knows but he reaches out like to his own artists and things like that. And, he's been able to do phenomenal things as well. And he has.
Have y'all ever collaborated?
Yes, actually we have. Okay. We have like a few collab records out now. We have some that haven't been released by artists, but within the next year, we're actually going to focus on just doing a lot more together now, because we realize that, us both being equally as talented and being able to chart like on billboards, like separately, that those are accomplishments, but now we can utilize the tools that each other has and the connections to further ourselves. So, shout out to 800, and I'm super proud of him and what he continues to do. And we keep each other on our toes. When he accomplishes something, he's super happy for me, but it kind of like, revs him up to like, now I gotta best him. And that's pretty much that keeps it, it keeps it level, no matter what's going on in like the public perception. I always want to like, compete with him, and I want us to bring the best out of each other.
I love that. And I remember I hit you up. I was like, somebody said you have a twin. And I was like, I ain't never seen a twin, but I was like, did I see the twin? And maybe I seen the twin and not you. So I was like mind blown when I found out. I was like, oh wow, he's a twin.
Yep.
All right, we're gonna do a rapid question.
Okay.
I'm not gonna hold you too long. I'm looking at the clock. Got the time set on the clock. What's a plugin that you can't live without?
That's a good one. I think it's called like the vinyl isotope. Mm-hmm. I use that on a lot of like my samples to make them sound a little bit more retro. So
Fruit Loop Studio, Logic, Ableton. Which one feels like home?
Oh, FL Studio is all I know. I'll never leave. I'll never leave FL Studio.
What's your guilty pleasure song that you would never sample, that you love?
That's tough because I would probably sample anything.
You can't sample it, you know. You love this
song. That's a tough one.
Hmm?
You got me stumped on that. All right, Thriller, Michael Jackson Thriller.
Perfect. Don't nobody sample that, please.
Yeah, you can't make anything better than that. So,
one artist that you feel deserves more recognition in the game.
There's a lot of them out there, but he's getting it now. But definitely, I would say R.J. Payne. His story, and I tell him, and he'll get a chance to tell his true story is incredible. From where he started from to where he got to where he's getting now. Getting the attention of people like Eminem, Lil Wayne, Dr. Dre. But yeah, definitely R.J.
What's one rule in production that you break and you love to break?
I don't even really know what
are the rules.
What rules are in production, especially in today's age. It's like everything is not that much that's off limits. Even like they say, don't take a classic song and remix it, but you see they've been doing that left and right for the last few years. So yeah, I don't really, unless it's like pure copyright infringement to where you're gonna get sued and stuff like that. You want to avoid that, but everything else is fair game.
Favorite in the studio snack?
Oh man,
not you be snacking over there.
I don't really snack in the studio. I mean, I've been in the studio multiple times, but I can't
come to your session. I'll come with some snacks.
I'm usually I'll have Gatorade, water, stuff like that. But for the time, it's usually later. Actually, yeah, fruit would be good.
You ain't bring no fruit. I'll come with fruit.
For the sessions that I've had, they've been later, after dinner and stuff, and I don't like to try to eat too late and things like that. So.
Oh, not you be on a healthy kick because I need to get like you.
I try. I do what I can.
All right, we're going to roll into this next segment. You did great with the rapid fire. The clock, we did good. We did all right. So you've been doing this for a minute. You've gained all these plaques. What I want to know is what advice you would give to younger producers, especially when it comes to ownership and publishing.
Very important that you asked that. I would say learn about the music industry first before jumping in. And I did a little bit of that. And there's some stuff you're going to learn by trial and error, but you have to learn about registering your songs. You have to learn about, the 3 separate kinds of royalties, how to collect, because today everybody's in a rush for either 2 things, to put the music out or to get the notoriety. After you get enough placements with big artists, you realize that the notoriety is not enough. Yep. It's not you can't just say I have a record with Cardi B, but then you're not registering your publishing, you're not getting an advance, you're not getting points or anything, because that ends up piggybacking into other big artists and other opportunities. But at some point, that opportunity has to turn into something tangible for you, which, you got to make money to be able to support yourself. And ultimately, if you love music, that's what you want to do to be able to support yourself. So to younger producers, I say definitely take your time to learn about the business side of music before jumping in, because even when you learn about it, it's still difficult and it's still confusing, and
there's always something you miss.
Always something you miss, and something is always changing. So definitely, take your time to research that.
How important is it to build with artists over time?
Very, very, very important. A lot of people that come into music, they want to kind of jump directly to the biggest artist because they feel that's what's going to get them the most notoriety. But you never know what artist is going to blow up. And, I've been blessed a few times to, come across artists that were right on the brink of, breaking out. And you can build more for yourself if you break out with those artists and you build a catalog with them. Because even if, let's say you do 10 songs with an artist that is not super huge and he puts out a hit, the worst case scenario is, and it happens sometimes, he forgets all about you after he gets his hit. He goes and works with the biggest producers in the game. You still have that catalog. So he gets up to 2-3 million fans. As long as the work that y'all did is still out, all those fans are going to go back to that. And you should be able to gain from that.
Wow.
So that's something that people don't think about.
I know you work with R.J. Payne and your stuff with Lloyd Banks, but is there any artist that you feel that you could make a whole project with?
There's a lot I want to. I just recently spoke with Neek Bucks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I work.
You gotta do that.
Yeah, he wanted to do he reached out. He wanted to do a whole project. There's a lot of other artists too that reach out about whole projects. Like me and Red Cafe have spoken.
I'll bring him back out.
About a whole project. Me and Lloyd Banks, we spoke about a whole project.
Might as well go for it.
At this point, yeah, I think I have 30 records with him.
You're his secret weapon at this point, so you might as well get a whole body of it.
Yeah, we plan to. We just, it'll probably just be time right, and we just got to figure out a theme. But I think doing whole projects with an artist is good.
I like it.
It gives the project like a uniform sound, and as a producer, it helps kind of showcase, the different variations of stuff that you can bring to the table.
This is off the top of my head because I'm curious.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything in production wise, or I guess the hip hop scene right now that you're tired of hearing?
I don't like the and it's starting to break away, but there is a lot of ageism in hip hop, and it's true what they say. Like in any other genre, country, rock, they can sing until they're 60, 70, and then with hip hop, they're like, "Oh, you're too old to rap." I think if you can rap and you have a skill, you shouldn't be confined to I can only do this up until this age. And so
I hate the ageism, but you can see the Grammys don't have no problem with it.
No,
you see Clips is all over.
Clips. The year before that, I think it was Killer Mike.
Yeah.
These are very seasoned vets, and I think now it's actually starting, to go away, which is good. But and even working with them, as a producer, there's so much knowledge to gain from somebody that's been in the industry for 20 years.
They're gonna come to the booth and be serious and not play lock in.
Right.
Studio time matters.
Right, definitely.
I think you're right with the rock stars is 60, 70 and they still able to coexist.
They're still getting booked, doing shows, everything.
I keep saying I wish that we were able to see Tupac and Biggie grow old.
Right.
So it's just when y'all keep saying you're too old to do this, it's no, we want to see them grow.
Right. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. Method Man is a huge...
What?
He honestly, right now, to me, he's rapping better than he did when he was younger. The run of features that he's been on is crazy. From the records even that I've done with him with RJ Payne, the other one I did with him and Sky Zoo, he's rapping at a very high tier right now.
The last feature I heard him, don't clown me with this, but it was on Grab's project, and it just effortlessly.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. Method Man just going.
Yeah. How do you tell somebody that's rapping like that, oh, you
shouldn't be doing this. Yeah. You shouldn't be doing this. It's nah, sometimes I feel like the older vets need the reminder of what hip hop sound like.
Right.
Because sometimes there's so many blends and blurs that it's just is this hip hop or is this R&B? Because sometimes the rappers are singing. So it's just sometimes we need a good reset.
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciate that.
Definitely.
That was one question in my head for you. What else I wanted to tackle is a current event. We just celebrated the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and Outkast recently was inducted.
Right.
I got the pleasure of interviewing that producer for their projects a few weeks ago. That's and cool. It was kind of cool because I'm sitting there Mom's Little Baghdad was such a dope song. And he was yeah. And I was sitting there fanning. I'm I work out to that every morning. And he's yeah. I was so glad that the company I was in, they was I work out to that too. That's the best workout song. Yeah. I want to know, what song do you feel people that you produce that you feel people fan out for?
A lot of the stuff with Lloyd Banks. I know the song I always Daddy's Little Girl from Course of the Inevitable 3 was a big song, and it was people were messaging me saying they were crying. They were crying. I shed a tear when I first heard it. But not that that's a workout song, but that's just one of those songs
you
that
get a reaction.
A lot of people but it's a lot of his stuff, and he's grown so much as an artist that his music is far more introspective than people think. So I am getting the messages this album changed my life. I was going through a really rough time, and this got me through. I thank you for working with him and stuff like that. So that's a cool feeling, because that is worth more than, you know, just trying to make, you know, a buck. You're literally contributing music that's helping, you know, change people's lives, whether it's bringing them out of a depression, helping them get over, you know, a loss and things like that.
That's what it's all about.
So
that's why I feel like I'm drawn to you as a producer, because I hear the passion. Of course, I know you're getting paid, right? But there's a reason why like people are hitting you up like this. So
absolutely.
Recent news: Max B is home.
Did see that.
Big belly. I want to know. Like, I got a little mental, like, bet. How soon do you think he's going to start hitting up producers and working on a project?
I'm 100% sure he already is. He probably already got... The
project's finished already?
I'm sure at least one is finished. But just even me hearing stuff through the grapevine, I know he's working and it's going to be, you know, it's going to be like nonstop. But yeah, I'd definitely like to, you know, I know his get PR. Him some stuff.
That's all I got. I know his PR. I want to know because I'm a Max B fan, and I remember when I used to, you know, tell guys I was like in high school, you're like, oh, I like Max B. You know, you just say a rapper's name to like flex. Right. So I used to be like, oh, like I'm into Max B, and it was like, so you can't tell that the music ain't even mixed correctly. Like you like that shit, it's not even mixed correctly. His mixes was so bad, and I was like, at that time, I was like. I didn't have that type of ear.
Right.
Me course. Now, I'm like, dang, it wasn't mixed correctly. But it sound good to me.
Right.
So I want to know, like, when you hear music, are you also somebody that can pinpoint, like, oh, nah, this shit is not mixed?
I can now. It took a while because, you know, especially like, as a producer, like you mix your beat a certain way, but, you know, when it's done right, you send them the files and they're going to end up mixing it a completely different way.
Wow.
So once they do mix it, like you notice, like if they lowered your bass or they raised your drums or they cut them out at different places. So after a while, you start to develop like a little bit of an ear to be able to, you know, to hear different mixes and things like that. So
that's dope. I thought it was just me because for so long, I used to just be like, oh, this is fire. It was like, you don't hear that? I'm like, I don't.
Nah, your ear starts to get, you know, trained to a specific.
Yeah. Now I can hear it. And now like when people send me music, I'm like, send it to me mixed. Like I'm super bougie now. Like send it to me mixed. You're not gonna pop my system. Like that's what we saying. And people be mad. It was like, like, nah. I appreciate a good mix.
It is important.
I also skipped a question and I'm gonna go to it anyways because I wanna know. What's one thing you wish you handled differently early on? Contracts, credits, or communication?
That is a good question, but it would really be all of that because all three of those things. I've had like the situation you talk about when you wake up and your beat is out there. Like I've had those situations, and one thing that I'm actually
multiple.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
As a producer, oh yeah.
I don't want to be a producer because of that.
There's no way you're a producer and that you go your whole like career and that never happens. Like, but for me, like. It would be those things, but one of the things I'm changing now is I'm starting to kind of just hone stuff in a little bit because I'm like when it comes to music, getting songs out and things like that, I'm like a workaholic. So I'm just sending. But you know, as I continue to go up the ladder, you kind of have to confine that a little bit, and you have to be a little bit more picky. It's tough sometimes, but I kind of have to learn to say no sometimes when certain artists reach out because there'll be times where I might be working on too many projects
at one time. You don't want to be overwhelmed.
Right. You don't want to be overwhelmed or that like, you know, that artist still has a little bit more, you know, growth to where it makes sense to like work with you and not in a sense to where like you're better than them, but you know, there's just still some things that they can refine and you might not be in a space where you have the time to kind of even help them do that, you know? So that's kind of where I'm starting to grow now and just be able to do that and be confident about it and then not feel bad about it. But because I always, you know, I remember being that producer that just wanted a chance and I wanted somebody, a bigger artist to like use my beat and to work with me. So sometimes, you know, when there's other artists that reach out, it's kind of hard to be like, nah, I can't right now, but like maybe in the future, but you have to.
Yes.
Or you're not going to be able to delegate your own work and then that'll actually keep you at a place to where you might be stagnant. So.
Well, I see it. If they really want you bad enough, they wait. They wait. Because you can't overwhelm yourself. And if you rush it, you're not going to be able to give your best. And they might as well just wait.
Right. Absolutely.
When you look back, what do you want the Cartune Beatz sound to stand for?
Diversity. And right now that's why one of my biggest goals right now is just kind of punching my way out of like the boom bap paper bag, because so many people, I've gotten so many fans from that sound. Like that is kind of what they expect from me. But again,
you're more than that.
I'm so much more than that. And they're going to get to hear it. And people, even if they go back through some of like my discography now, they hear it. Like for newer fans that might have just followed me within the last year, they go back and hear like an R&B song I did or something else, or a trap song. You know, they'd probably be surprised. But I do have a few fans that's been following me since I've started.
And they know.
And they know. Because when I first started out, I didn't start with like boom bap stuff. I was heavily influenced by like the Lex Luger Southside era, where like the Waka Flocka trap, like that
was my time.
Around that time is when I first started making, beats. So I was making a lot of stuff similar to that. And sometimes, people don't know that. And I think that even other artists, they might not realize that. I've had artists reach out to me and say like, oh yeah, I need some of these kinds, but I'm gonna probably like reach out to somebody. I was like, no, I have those. And they're like, oh, like you make those kinds too?
Wow.
Send them. And then they hear them and they're just like, I never would have guessed. Because sometimes it just kind of gets easy to kind of place, people in the box that you expect to hear them in.
So wholeheartedly, there's diversity. I want to know, is there any R&B song that I'd be shocked? Because I didn't see the R&B part. So I guess my research wasn't that good.
I work with the artist Mars. She was just with
I love Mars.
Third Eye View. I produced.
Snap.
On her I forgot what the name of that EP was. It was a little while back, but I'm still working with her. She just finished another song of mine that we're going to try to get out soon. But yeah, I make R&B stuff.
Wow, see?
It's just, what it is like, once you get like a particular like song out, and then depending on like how far the reach goes, then people start to know, because people, again, nobody would ever expect that I would produce like a song like that, but I have, and it's out.
That's dope. I like it. I like the diversity. I feel like, you're a secret weapon.
I try to be. I definitely try to be.
Of course, because you're so modest. Ultimately, when we talk about hip hop, what do you feel you're contributing right now?
Right now, I feel I'm contributing a lot, and I won't say that modestly. I feel like I'm taking a sound that is traditional, but I'm also kind of injecting it with like a new sound. Like with me, like when I do like the traditional hip hop sound, like the drums are like similar, but I think like the melodies and the stuff that I'm using is different, because those can actually fit on other kinds of beats like trap or, so I think that it's kind of almost like a fusion of like new age, like boom bap or hip hop. And I've had, fans say that, I've had them say like, they start to identify, like we can tell like it was your beat before, like there's some albums like my beat tag is not on it. And I've had people reach out, like I knew that was like, I knew you produced that because of like the melody and stuff like that.
So you have a signature without a tag.
Right.
That's fire.
Right.
Before I let you go, because I don't want to let you go, would you consider dropping beat tapes? Like,
yes. And it is something that I've been working towards. Like I had one like geared up, but then I just waited. But before I do it, I'm trying to continue to grow like my own platforms.
Yes.
As far as like my own Apple Music profile, my own Spotify, which I have all of that. So I want to get a few more projects out where it's like me and another artist.
Yes.
To where like, I get my listeners up to where, I have something sustainable, and then like here and there just putting out some beat tapes. So that's definitely in the works. It is a plan. And I'm actually I'm going to end up doing one with my twin brother too.
That'd be dope. It's me telling y'all what to do. We want that. All right, we want that. I'm scared to let you go, but obviously you got a lot of work to do, because clearly you're never not working.
No.
So this was fun. I've seen a few interviews. How many interviews have you been doing? Do you like them?
I do, but it's hard to just balancing like time between like the family, and then I'm on Long Island. A lot of them are based in the city. So it's like travel and stuff like that. I don't mind doing them. I haven't done a ton this year, if any this year. I know the year before I did like a couple, but yeah, I don't mind doing interviews if I feel like it makes sense. And some people, they might like wait until they have something like coming out, but with me, luckily, got
something coming out. That's why I reached out to you, because I feel like you always have something coming out.
Right. So I'm always working.
So I was like, if I see your name pop up one more time, I was like, let me just reach out. Yeah. So I appreciate you coming through, and I'm looking forward to what you do next. And we gonna wrap it up, y'all.
Thank you for having me. And I got plenty more on the way before the year's over. So
we all gonna listen. Y'all better tap in. All right, it's your girl Bebe, and we're out. Good night and good morning.